Learn English with us.
English Podcast.
Hello everyone, I'm John and welcome back to our English Tenses series. This is day 7 and today we are going to learn an important tense, the past perfect tense.
Hello everyone, I'm Sarah, and if you've been following this series from day 1, congratulations, you are making great progress.
So far, we've learned several important tenses including the present simple, present continuous, present perfect continuous, past simple, and past continuous.
And today, we're going one step deeper into the past.
Yes, today we're learning how to talk about an action that happened before another action in the past.
That might sound a little complicated, but don't worry. We're going to explain it with simple examples, everyday situations, and speaking practice.
And if you're new here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and follow this English Tenses series.
Most importantly, speak along with us. Don't just listen. Repeat the examples and practice making your own sentences.
What is the past perfect tense?
Let's begin with the basic idea. We use the past perfect tense to talk about something that happened before another event in the past.
Think about it as the earlier past. There are two actions. One action happened first. The other action happened later.
For example, when I arrived at the restaurant, my friends had already eaten.
So the eating happened first. My arrival happened second. That's why we use the past perfect for had eaten.
Here's another example. When I got home, my mother had already cooked dinner.
First, my mother cooked dinner. Second, I got home. So we say, my mother had cooked dinner.
The past perfect helps us make the order of past events clear.
Now let's learn the structure. The formula is very simple. Subject plus had plus past participle.
The great thing about the past perfect is that we use had with every subject.
I had, you had, he had, she had, it had, we had, they had.
For example, I had finished, you had finished, he had finished, she had finished, we had finished, they had finished.
Notice something important. We don't change had. We use had for everyone.
And after had, we use the past participle, also called the third form of the verb.
For example, eat, ate, eaten. Go, went, gone. See, saw, seen. Finish, finished, finished. Clean, cleaned, cleaned. Write, wrote, written.
So we say, I had eaten, she had gone, they had finished, he had written, we had seen.
One very common word with the past perfect is before. For example, I had finished my homework before I watched TV.
First, I finished my homework, then I watched TV.
Another example, she had left before I arrived.
First, she left, then I arrived.
Another one, they had cleaned the house before the guests arrived.
First, they cleaned the house, then the guests arrived.
Let's practice some more. I had eaten breakfast before I went to work.
She had finished her coffee before the meeting started.
He had locked the door before he left.
We had bought the tickets before we went to the cinema.
They had studied English before they moved to Canada.
Excellent. Whenever you hear two past actions, ask yourself, which action happened first? That will help you understand when to use the past perfect.
Past perfect with after.
We can also use the past perfect with after. For example, after I had finished, I went home.
First, I finished my work, then I went home.
Another example, after she had eaten breakfast, she went to work.
First, she ate breakfast, then she went to work.
Here's another. After they had cleaned the kitchen, they watched a movie.
Notice the pattern. After past perfect, comma, past simple. For example, after I had finished, comma, I went home.
But remember, the order of the sentence can change. We can also say, I went home after I had finished.
The meaning is the same.
Now let's compare the past perfect with the past simple.
Listen to this. When I arrived at the station, the train left. This sentence can sound like I arrived and then the train left.
But if we say, when I arrived at the station, the train had left, now we clearly understand that the train left before I arrived.
That's the power of the past perfect. It helps us show which past action happened first.
Let's look at another example. When I called Sarah, she went to bed. This could mean I called her and then she went to bed.
But when I called Sarah, she had gone to bed. Now we understand that Sarah went to bed before I called.
Exactly. The past perfect gives us a clear timeline.
Let's imagine a timeline. Imagine two events. Event 1, Event 2. Event 1 happened first. Event 2 happened later.
The first event uses past perfect. The second event usually uses past simple.
For example, I had eaten, I went to work. First, I had eaten breakfast. Later, I went to work.
Another example, she had finished work, she went home. First, she had finished work. Later, she went home.
So remember, past perfect equals earlier past action. Past simple equals later past action.
Let's practice with an everyday conversation.
Did you go to the supermarket yesterday?
Yes, I did.
What did you buy?
I bought some vegetables and fruit.
Did you eat before you went?
Yes, I had eaten lunch before I went to the supermarket.
What about dinner?
By the time I got home, my family had already prepared dinner.
That's nice.
Yes, we had dinner together.
Notice how we used the past perfect. I had eaten lunch. My family had already prepared dinner. Both actions happened before another past event, already with past perfect. Another useful word is already. We often use already with the past perfect when something happened before another past event.
For example, I had already finished my homework when my friend called.
She had already left when I arrived.
They had already eaten when we got there.
He had already seen the movie before we watched it together.
We had already booked the hotel before our trip.
Notice how already emphasizes that something was completed earlier than expected or before another event.
Now, let's learn negative sentences. The structure is subject plus had not plus past participle.
Or more naturally, subject plus hadn't plus past participle.
For example, I hadn't eaten breakfast. She hadn't finished her homework. He hadn't arrived yet.
We hadn't seen the movie. They hadn't cleaned the house.
Let's use them in complete sentences. I hadn't eaten breakfast before I left home. She hadn't finished her work when her boss called. They hadn't arrived when the meeting started.
Remember, hadn't plus past participle, not hadn't plus past simple.
For example, incorrect, I hadn't went. Correct, I hadn't gone.
Incorrect, she hadn't ate. Correct, she hadn't eaten.
Incorrect, they hadn't saw. Correct, they hadn't seen.
Now let's make questions. The structure is had plus subject plus past participle.
For example, had you eaten? Had she arrived? Had he finished? Had they left? Had you seen the movie?
Let's practice with a conversation. Had you eaten before you came here?
Yes, I had eaten before I came here.
Had you finished your work?
Yes, I had finished my work.
Had your friend arrived?
No, my friend hadn't arrived yet.
Had you seen that movie before?
No, I hadn't seen it before.
Great. Now, let's practice everything with a short story. Yesterday was a very busy day. I woke up late because I had forgotten to set my alarm.
Oh no.
Yes. I quickly got dressed and ran to the kitchen. But my family had already left for work and school.
So you were alone?
Yes. I wanted to make breakfast, but I realized that I had run out of milk, so I decided to leave without breakfast.
What happened next?
I arrived at the bus stop, but the bus had already left.
That's terrible.
I know. So I waited for another bus. When I finally arrived at work,
The meeting had already started.
You really had a busy morning.
Exactly. But luckily, my manager understood. By lunchtime, I had finished most of my important work. After I had finished my work, I went out for lunch with a friend.
And how did the day end?
In the evening, I went home. My family had already eaten dinner, so I made something for myself. Then I watched a movie and went to bed.
Great story. And we heard many examples of the past perfect.
Yes, I had forgotten. They had already left. I had run out. The bus had already left. The meeting had already started. I had finished. My family had already eaten.
Now it's your turn. Listen and repeat.
I had finished my homework.
Pause and answer.
She had already left.
Pause and answer.
They had eaten dinner.
Pause and answer.
He had gone home.
Pause and answer.
We had seen that movie before.
Pause and answer.
I hadn't finished my work.
Pause and answer.
Had you eaten breakfast?
Pause and answer.
Now let's do a quick challenge. Complete each sentence. Number 1. When I arrived, she blank already left.
The answer is she had already left.
Number 2. Before I went to bed, I blank finished my homework.
I had finished my homework.
Number 3. When we got to the cinema, the movie blank already started.
The movie had already started.
Number 4. She was tired because she not slept well.
She had not slept well.
Number 5. After they blank eaten dinner, they went for a walk.
After they had eaten dinner, they went for a walk.
Excellent.
Let's look at some common mistakes. Mistake number 1. I had went to the store.
Incorrect. We need the past participle of go. Go, went, gone. Correct. I had gone to the store.
Mistake number 2. She had eaten breakfast.
Incorrect. Eat, ate, eaten. Correct. She had eaten breakfast.
Mistake number 3. They had saw the movie.
Incorrect. See, saw, seen. Correct. They had seen the movie.
And remember, the past perfect always uses had plus past participle, not had plus past simple.
Let's review today's lesson. The past perfect tense describes an action that happened before another action in the past.
The formula is subject plus had plus past participle.
Examples. I had finished. She had gone. They had eaten. We had seen.
For negative sentences, subject plus had not plus past participle. For example, I hadn't finished. She hadn't arrived. They hadn't eaten.
For questions, had plus subject plus past participle. Had you eaten? Had she arrived? Had they finished?
And remember the most important idea. Past perfect equals what happened first. Past simple equals what happened next.
Now here's your practice for today. Write 5 sentences about yesterday using the past perfect. For example, I had eaten breakfast before I went to work. I had finished my homework before I watched TV. My friend had already left when I arrived. I had cleaned my room before my parents came home. We had already eaten when our guests arrived.
Then say your sentences out loud. Don't worry about making mistakes. The goal is to practice.
You can even tell yourself a short story about yesterday. Start with, yesterday I woke up. Then describe what had happened before each event.
This will help you understand the difference between past simple and past perfect naturally.
And that's the end of Day 7 of our English Tenses series. Today we learned the past perfect tense and how to talk about an action that happened before another action in the past.
Remember our simple formula, had plus past participle.
And remember the key question, which action happened first? If it happened first, past perfect can help us show that clearly.
If this lesson helped you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for the next lesson.
And if you're completing the series, write Day 7 complete in the comments.
Keep practicing every day, keep speaking English, and don't be afraid of mistakes.
We'll see you in Day 8, where we'll continue our English Tenses series.
Keep learning
Keep practicing.
and keep speaking English. See you in the next lesson. Bye.